Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I see lots of very young faces, and I believe most of you are from IT discipline, right? Very good. In the next 3 days, we are going to take you through two important aspects in the current time. Okay. One is cyber security. The second one is life and work balance. Okay. Life and work balance was important even earlier, but my perspective is that in today's time it has become more important, because our lives are mostly dependent, maybe 70, 80, 90 depends on individual, on IT, is it not? Can you think of leaving your mobile at home? No. Is there anybody who leaves his or her mobile at home? No, you do not. You carry that phone along with you. So, that has become a something like your hand or ear or eye or whatever, it is a part of your body, right. But is it really a part of the body? Perhaps not. Is it really helping you 100%, or it is also interfering? Yes, tell me, it is interfering in your life, personal and professional. You are working in a serious matter in your office and there is a call from somebody. The somebody may be your relative, somebody may be your colleague, and somebody may be somebody unknown who is selling a motorbike, or who is selling a insurance, or selling something kind of thing. Disturbances. So, the moment we get into the IT, which we have already gone, I mean in our society, in our country, I think we are so much dependent on IT today. Okay. For anything that we do in our life, we are dependent on information technology, right. So, it is interfering with the personal life and also interfering with the professional life. So, these are the two aspects that we are going to take into, that as we are so much dependent on information technology, are there any perils of that? Are there any disadvantages of that? Are there any threats because we are using information technology? I am sure you would have read, unfortunately some of your known persons might have also been duped because of something happening with their bank, something happening with their something else, they might have lost money, is it not? So, IT. And the second part of course is related to our personal and professional life. So, these are the two things we are going to discuss in these 3 days. I am going to share with you what we are going to look into is this. We will be starting with information technology, the basic concepts and its role in business and government. I am sure though you most of you are from IT, but I can assure you that I am going to show you a different perspective of IT as it relates to the functioning of government or private organizations. Yours is a public sector organization, right. Another thing that we are going to do today is information and cyber security in business and government. What are the threats and why those threats are there? What kind of scenario which is developing over a period of time, and to my understanding that scenario is going to become dangerous. Okay. So, how can we prepare ourselves both in personal life and also in professional life from these perils, right. Today we are going to have 2 more sessions which are related to IT Act. I am sure many of you are aware that India is one of the first countries in the world, in fact really the third country in the world which has got an IT Act instituted for as far back as 2000. So, 23 years ago in our country we had an IT Act 2000. Of course, it has been modified in 2008. We are also going to look into some of the aspects which are related to the standards. I am sure you are all conversant with ISOs, right, International Standards Organization. So, ISO has a series of standards which are related to information security. Some introduction will be given to you later in the day about ISO 27,000. In fact, 27,001 to 16, this is the entire series is related to information technology. So, we are going to do that. Then tomorrow we are going to look into two very important aspects which are part of our professional life, that is endpoint and digital workplace security. You are working on a digital workplace, is it not? You have a laptop or a desktop, and in fact, I believe PSEL is introducing ERP, is it not? I am sure those who are from IT, they must be already aware. Now, the moment you introduce ERP in any organization, what does it mean? It means that all the transactions will be through information technology, they will be in digital form. Very few transactions, whether related to money, whether related to work, whether related to whatever, will be carried out manually. Okay. Now, this increases the danger. It facilitates, yes, ERP means facilitation of the work in the organization, but at the same time it creates more dangers. Okay. So, what are those? Also, we are going to look into the network security. We are so much dependent on the network, is it not? None of our laptops are standalone, right? None of our desktops are standalone, they are connected. In fact, even your mobiles are connected, yes or no? They are also connected, because you have already installed your emails on your mobiles. You are using WhatsApp and using WhatsApp for official correspondence, yes or no? Are you not using WhatsApp for official correspondence? So, you are dependent on this network, and somebody gets into that network, what can happen? Okay. What kind of precautions you should take? That is what we are going to discuss. Tomorrow also we are going to start the second part of our work life balance. We will have 2 sessions tomorrow, which will be devoted to the various aspects related to the work life balance. Okay. Then on the last day, we have 2 more sessions on data and application security, and this data and application security becomes very, very important for your organization, because you are introducing ERP in your organization. Okay. At the same time, mobile security is another aspect that we cannot ignore today, okay, because mobile is a part of our professional life as well as personal life. Okay. And if something happens in your personal life, do not you think your professional life will also be affected, and vice versa. If something happens in your professional life, your personal life will be affected, and both these lives are connected through a mobile. Mobile is a common denominator between our personal life today and professional life. So, what kind of precautions we need to take? The important aspect here will be the kind of precautions that each one of us can take, so that a cyber security incident does not take place. Okay. Then day after tomorrow, the last 2 sessions will again be devoted to the work life balance. Okay. A very important aspect here, particularly related to information security, is that we are going to participate in 2 quizzes. Okay. A quiz I am going to share with you within next 5 minutes or so. Another will be done on the 3rd day before we close the IT part of it. Okay. Now, this quiz is not to grade yourself. Okay. We are not saying that who got 10, who got 9, who got 10. No, that is not the idea. I am going to give you certain questions which will have multiple choice answers, and you have to select the right one which you think is the right one. Okay. So, that at least when we close this workshop in 3 days time, we will have something like about 30, 31, 35 very important aspects related to information security, about whose the right answers will be with you, because at the end of the quiz I am going to share with you your right answers. Okay. So, this is what we have got in the next 3 days. Okay. So, first thing first, now we are going to have a quiz. Can somebody help me to distribute these, please? 1 to each. There are 16 questions and you are allowed 10 minutes time. Okay. Questions are of multiple choice and you have to identify the right answer to each question. Okay. Has everybody got a sheet? Anybody left out? Okay, sorry. Okay, please start. You got one? You don't want to participate? Just for the sake of fun, why not? It's not a test. Okay. So, as per my watch, it is 15 minutes past 10. So, by 10:25, oh yeah, 10:25 we will close this quiz. Okay. Five more minutes. Yes, your name on the नहीं कलेक्ट नहीं करने, नहीं इट्स नॉट अटैच्ड. Okay, ladies. On the whiteboard you will see the right answer that is. Accordingly you should correct your answer. Right. So question number 1, alternative A is the right answer. Okay. Alright. Question number 2, the right answer is B. Please have a look at the board. The right answer is D. Okay. Question number 4, right answer is C. Right answer is D. Question number 6, right answer is alternative B. Question number 7, right answer is D. Question number 8, right answer is D. Question number 9, right answer is true. The statement is true. Question number 10, the statement is false. Question number 11, the statement is true. Question number 12, statement is false. Question number 13, statement is false. 14, again false. 15 is true. And 16, alternative B. Okay? So now please for each right answer, give yourself 1 mark and add them up. For each right answer, award yourself 1. Total 32. Okay, you have total now. Did anybody got 16? 15? 14? 13? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's your name, ma'am? Mandeep. So Mandeep got 13 marks. Please clap for her. Sir, what's your name? Lokesh. Lokesh. Okay, Yogesh. Please clap for Yogesh. There was one more hand somewhere. Yes, what's your name, sir? Arvind. Please clap for Arvind also. I saw one more hand. Yes, sir. What's your name? Nobody. I didn't get it. Nobody. Okay. Please clap for Navdeep also. Good. I do hope nobody got less than 10. So don't tell me. Keep it to yourself. Okay. So this is what is important for us to understand. If we really don't understand these simple things, then possibly this workshop is the right place for it. You must learn a little bit more about the current status of information technology applications in your department, in your organization. Alright, so this was a little bit fun and some knowledge, and these papers are your property, so you can keep with you. Alright. My request to all of you is that please, whenever a question arises in your mind, something that is not clear to you, please ask the question. Asking is the best thing to learn. Okay? I'm sure many people would have told you the same thing. I am repeating myself. Right? So anytime there is a question, please don't hesitate to ask it. And another thing, I am going to ask you lots of questions. So from that point of view also teach for that. So you should ask questions. Alright? So here we go. You are from a government or a public sector organization. Is it? Yes. My first question is, what do you do? आप करते क्या? आप लोग क्या करते हैं? सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट करते हैं। और क्या करते हैं? सारे लोग सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट करते हैं। एसेंशियल पब्लिक सर्विस इट्स अ बिग थिंग, बहुत बड़ी चीज है। सारी तो नहीं करते आप क्या करते हैं? मेरा सवाल आपसे इंडिविजुअल से कि आप क्या करते हैं? पता है आप लोग इतने सालों से नौकरी कर रहे हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेस करते हैं। ओके, बाकी कोई नहीं बता रहे? सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में क्या करते हैं? ये कोई पेड़ थोड़ी है।
Sir, we work for organization. We contribute to
everybody does that, sir.
organization की अगली well-being के लिए अब contribute करने के लिए।
इतनी बड़ी बातें नहीं करती है। किसके बेनिफिट के लिए करते वो नहीं पूछ रहा है। शायद अपने लिए भी करते हो।
सर एक्चुअली एक रोल नहीं है, आज पर रोल ट्रांसफर हमें अलग-अलग मिलते हैं। जैसे IT में है तो it can be entirely कि आप
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि ऊपर नहीं जाना अपने को, जितना नीचे धरती के पास आ रहे वो करने का सवाल। बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है for us to understand what do we do really. इतने बड़े शब्द मत यूज करें सर। Okay, let me change my question. Who runs the organization? आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन BSPCL कौन चलाते हैं? आप लोग चला, इसमें तो किसी को डाउट नहीं। गुड। Maybe designation wise you can be an officer or executive or manager or director or whatever, engineer. Designation is a part. But these kinds of people, they run the organization, including you. Now I rephrase my idea. What is the most important contribution these officials, officers, executives, managers make? Handle data. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट काम आप लोग क्या, सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन आपका क्या? टाइम तो देते हैं। टाइम तो मैं अगर आ जाता हूँ 10 बजे, जब तक खुलता है मैं 10 बजे आ जाता हूँ, 5 बजे वापस चला जाता हूँ, तो क्या मेरा बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन हो गया? मैं यहाँ बैठा है कुछ करता ही नहीं।
Make decisions.
जोर से बोलिए।
Make decisions.
Make decisions. Please clap for it. What you are doing? Parikshit. All right. Wonderful answer. You all make decisions. Whether you are developing software, whether you are in HR, whether you are in transmission, whether you are in office, whether you are transferring somebody, you are recruiting somebody, whatever you do, most important contribution that each one of you makes is a decision. Right? Agreed? कोई doubt तो नहीं है? Now next question. These decisions are made based on what? क्या basis होता है decisions का? Information. Okay, anybody else? Experience. Okay, what else? Good. Oh, good. Depending on the situation, you use your experience as well as the information available to you to decide. Yes. Okay. So right answer. So information is the most important ingredient for the work life of all of you. Yes or no? If this information is not correct, then what will happen to your decision? It won't be the right decision. It won't be the best decision. Yes or no? Even if you have the right information, but the information given to you is not right, then same situation. If you have stored information somewhere and when you access it, when you fetch it, there is some disturbance which changes the information. What will happen to your decision? It will not be the best decision. Though highly experienced you may be, but from your experience you will know ये information सही नहीं है. इतना तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. पर सही क्या है? So you see the role played by information in your professional life. Yes. आपको एक क्विकली a generic process of decision making in any office, any organization I refer to. Okay. So, when do you start making decisions? Very देखते या राहु काल या शनि काल या ऐसा कुछ करते हैं? कब डिसीजन मेकिंग शुरू करते हैं? कब घटे? When you start making decisions? When you face a problem, how do you know you have faced a problem?
Something is stuck.
Something has struck. So you start making a decision based on a stimulus. Okay? That stimulus may be आपके पास एक फाइल आ गई, या आपके बॉस ने फोन किया, या खुद आपने ऑब्जर्व किया कि ये सही नहीं हो रहा है या कैसा हो रहा है. So based on that, more experienced you are, a small stimulus is sufficient for you to start your decision making process. Yes. So with this stimulus in place, which acts on your professional experience, you start conceptualization. You try to understand वो क्या रहा है, कहाँ पे गड़बड़ हुई है, कैसे होना चाहिए. You know, all those thoughts will come to you while you are conceptualizing. This may be a process which is not really visible to you, but it happens here, is it not? Okay. Now, based on this conceptualization, for you seek information sources. Okay. And based on this, you try to understand what more data do I require. You might have to collect some more information from somewhere. Maybe in another office, another division, another function, whatever. Okay. And then you start trying to understand alternatives. इसको लाइट को जरा जलाइए तो बेहतर होगा नहीं? ये लाइट ऑन करेंगे तो ये विजिबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है. I think so. ठीक ना? नहीं, ये तो और बंद ही रखे तो अच्छा. You try to find out alternatives. क्या करना चाहिए? And please remember, in all this process, your experience is what? A new person, a newly recruited person, will not be able to visualize or conceptualize as much as a experienced person will be able to. And based on this, you try to understand whether I should take this alternative or that alternative or which one. And then you might go through this cycle, maybe once, maybe twice, or more. And at the end of this, you get a decision made. Yes? Is this the process you are also following? Do you stop here? Decision हो गया, खत्म, कुछ नहीं करना आगे. Yes or no? Implementation. खाली decision लेने से काम नहीं चलेगा organization का, organization बंद हो जाएगा. So after you have taken a decision, you have to implement it. Will you stop at this stage? Else? You must understand, as to the decision that you have taken, the decision which has been implemented, has it produced the results that were expected? Yes or no? So you try to understand, to get a feedback kind of thing. Okay? And that feedback goes back to your professional experience, and your experience says yes, job done, or job not done, job partially done. If it is partially or not done, you go through this cycle maybe once, twice, depending on the situation. Yes. Now, few minutes ago, all of you agreed that most important ingredient for decision making is information. Where do you require? This is the process now. So at what stage do you require information? Sorry? What stage? There are so many, some 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which stage information is needed for your decision making? Sorry? Joseph? All stages. Are you sure? Or क्योंकि बोल दे तो सब खत्म हो गया. You require information at all the stages. Okay? Agree. Do you require anything else? Do you require anything else? Information अगर आपको दे दें, उसके अलावा कुछ चाहिए आपको?
tools चाहिए to analyze that in
वो ठीक है, वो तो आगे उसमें हम हाँ कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है क्या? जाके hand in okay. Do you require anything else? Am I audible at the back? और कुछ चाहिए आपको? अभी आपने कहा कि डिसीजन लेने के बाद उसे इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. डिसीजन कहाँ लिया आपने? आपकी डेस्क पे, आपकी टेबल पे. इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कहाँ होगा? वहाँ तक पहुँचाएगा कौन डिसीजन? नहीं पहुँचेगा तो वहाँ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगा? Similarly, implementation हो रहा है. How will you know the result? Will you go there? You take 100 decisions every day. Will you go to 100 places every day? So what do you require?
feedback.
Feedback. That's not the right word. Anyway, sharing. Yes. Two things we require to run an organization: information and feedback. So far, maybe about 10-15 years ago, till that time, maybe around 2000, all this communication was physical. But now, this communication is digital. You see the change? You see the change? Even in the manual communication, there were obstructions. There were frauds. Yes or no? I mean, those who are old heads here, they know किसी को भेजा उसने दिया ही नहीं. निम्न दिया था उसको जमा ही नहीं करा उसने. किसी दूसरे को देके चला. ओके? वो तो होता था. लेकिन अब जो कम्युनिकेशन डिजिटल हो रहा है उसमें पॉसिबिलिटी कम है कि ज़्यादा है? बहुत ज़्यादा है. Yes. Two things we require: information and communication to run an organization. Right? Before we go further, let's try to understand this information. What is information? IT.
Process data.
Sorry?
Process data.
Process data. Thank you very much. But what is data?
Raw information.
Oh, no, ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता. ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता. Sorry?
Facts and figures.
Facts and figures. Very good. What is fact?
Something that is established and
Something that is attributable. Thank you very much. What's your name? Please clap for her. Very important thing here. See, whatever we do, any player, personal, official, professional, we use resources. Yes or no? Right? We call them entities. Maybe we use, electricity, we use a computer, we use a vehicle, we use fuel, we use human beings, we use a desk, so many things. So all these are entities that are used. These entities have characteristics, yes or no? They have properties. Right? What we call them? Attributes. Okay? These attributes of an entity, do they remain same or do they change? They change with time. Right? So if you measure at one point, you will get X value. You measure after some time, you may not get X value. It may be less or it may be more. Okay? So what we call it, the present value of an attribute of an entity. This present value of an attribute of an entity is what is known as a fact. Okay. Data has not come yet. Has it? Information has not come yet. Okay? I'll be asking you to write something. Okay? So please write it. How tall you are, sir? You can say yes. 5'7". 5'7". How tall you are, sir? 5'6". Ma'am, write down 5'6". How tall you are, sir? 5'8". Please write down 5'8". I knew that. Sir, how tall you are? 6. So please write down 6. How tall you are, sir? कितने बड़े? 5'8". What I give?
control strategy.
What? पार्ट IT मैंने क्या किया, क्या करेक्शन, डेटा से बात ही नहीं हुई,
randomly height.
randomly height checking the male participants of this group. ओके, तो कुछ डेटा होना चाहिए मेरे पास, कहाँ है डेटा, है मेरे पास, तो नहीं है डेटा। आप यही करते हैं ना, साइट पे जाते हैं तो ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है, कितना ज़्यादा है कितना कम है वगैरह वगैरह। फिर जब ऑफिस आते हैं तो बोलते हैं डेटा ही नहीं है। क्यों नहीं है डेटा आपके पास? कई बार आपके सीनियर ऑफिसर्स की मीटिंग में इवन डायरेक्टर साहब ने बोला होगा मंत्री जी के सामने कि साहब इस बारे में हमारे पास कोई डेटा नहीं है। और डेटा क्या होता है? फैक्ट तो है ना, फैक्ट तो थे, फैक्ट में तो किसी को कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता, तो डेटा क्यों नहीं है? क्यों नहीं है डेटा? आप मेरे को बता सकते हैं डेटा कहाँ है इसकी, जो भी हमने एक्सरसाइज करी इनके पास है। क्यों इनके पास है? इन्होंने इसको लिखा, रिकॉर्ड किया। सो रिकॉर्डेड फैक्ट्स आर डेटा। इफ यू डोंट रिकॉर्ड फैक्ट्स यू डोंट हैव डेटा। और डेटा नहीं है तो आप ERP लगा लो और CRP लगा लो और कुछ भी लगा लो, कुछ नहीं। यस और नो? डेटा कब आएगा? जब आप फैक्ट्स को रिकॉर्ड करोगे। अभी मैडम यहाँ से अपना नोटपैड लेके बाहर चली जाती हैं, तो मेरा डेटा कहाँ गया? चला गया यहाँ से। तो डेटा था भी लेकिन वो मेरे को एक्सेसिबल नहीं है, तब भी मेरे पास इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है। यू अंडरस्टैंड? दैट्स अ वेरी कॉमन सिचुएशन इन ऑल द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस वर्ल्ड ओवर। फैक्ट्स होते हैं, उन पे किसी का कंट्रोल नहीं, रिकॉर्ड भी हम करते हैं लेकिन उसकी एक्सेसिबिलिटी जब हमें चाहिए तो वो नहीं मिलता। क्यों? वो रिकॉर्ड रूम में बैठा हो, फाइल में नहीं आपने रिकॉर्ड किया था और फाइल जो है वो 3 साल पुरानी है तो वो रिकॉर्ड रूम में बैठी है। आप में से कोई जाना चाहेगा वॉलंटरी रिकॉर्ड रूम में फाइल ढूंढने के लिए? मैं तो नहीं जाऊँगा, मैं तो उन्हें कैजुअल लीव ले लूँगा। सो वी फर्स्ट थिंग वी डोंट हैव recorded facts. Even if we have recorded facts, we don't have access to them. If these two conditions are fulfilled, then and then only you will get information. So this is the genesis of information. And the most important part is recording of the facts. Why are we not able to record entire facts? अभी इन्होंने जो रिकॉर्ड किया वो कितने टाइम पे किया? कोई आइडिया आपको? कितने बजे थे उस समय? नहीं, क्योंकि वो रिकॉर्ड नहीं कर सकते थे। आप क्या? In the environment, things are changing so fast that you cannot record the entire thing by your own effort, personal efforts. Which means what? Which means that a very vital part of the useful data we have not recorded. So organization कैसे चले? Successful organization और not so successful organization में यही major difference. Same thing stands for a human being. A successful person and not so successful person, observation तो सारे करते हैं, अखबार तो रोज हम सब पढ़ते हैं, बिजनेस में सब देख रहा है क्या हो रहा है, लेकिन जो जिसके पास डेटा है, जिसके पास फैसिलिटी है उस डेटा को प्रोसेस करने की, that only is successful. Okay? I hope you are realizing the importance of this information. Yes or no? Okay. We come to another disputed and misunderstood term, information technology. Many of you are from information technology, so please can you share with me or with us what is information technology? Information technology क्या है?
Technology to store and process information.
Technology to store and process information is information technology. Okay? Anybody else?
Also to communicate the information that
मैं अगर एक कागज के ऊपर लिखता हूँ इंफॉर्मेशन, वही खाता जैसे समझते हैं पुराने जमाने में होता था, और उसको बाद में प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट बनाता हूँ, ये इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी हो गई है।
Transmission of information भी है.
ट्रांसमिशन दिन में वही खाता, दूसरे को लिखता। मैं उन्हीं किसी को बुला तो उनको होगा तो पार्टी इसमें एनालाइज करो कि पिछले महीने में कितना प्रॉफिट हुआ, ये डिजिटाइजेशन। एनीबडी है? सारी वही काम तो सारी करते हैं, वो बनिया भी वहाँ दुकान में बैठा वो यही करता है। इज कहाँ से आ गई इसमें? And please remember, I'm sure I think people will know, information technology as a term we have been using from the beginning of this century. Before that, we were not talking about information technology. Yes, sir?
So electronically the same thing that we were physical.
Ladies and gentlemen, please try to understand, information technology consists of three distinct technologies. Three distinct technologies. Okay. The first technology is data capture and storage. You capture data, you collect the facts, record them, store them. That is the first part. The second part is data processing. Okay. Now if you look at this, what is this? Is it not a computer? Or is it information technology? Is computer information technology? No. Computer is not information technology. In our country, we have been using computers since 1950. Even in the government, we have been using computers from 1955, but not IT. Information technology we started using in our society around 2001, 2002, 2003. That's the time. So about 20 years, that's all. So what remains? Somebody mentioned it. Third and most important component of this is data from one place to another. From the place where it is stored to the place where it is utilized. So when you combine these three things, then only you get information technology. And the biggest problem which is created today is because of the data transfer. When computers were used, they were standalone, there was no problem. Was there any problem? No. No problem, standalone, that's all. They were just like a register. Only thing electronically and digitally, that's all. But problem started coming in when we started transferring data from one place to another. Okay. What does information technology mean for an executive, if you like it? Why should you use information technology at all? क्या फायदा आपको?
Quick and accurate decision.
Quick and accurate. Accuracy तो जरा doubtful है. Quick is okay. Yes. What else? Sorry? Security नहीं. You can transfer data. Security की बात नहीं आती. IT नहीं कहती secure हो या नहीं हो. Transfer yes. It will be insecure. Imagine a situation where you are about to take a decision. You come back.
Storage of data, old files can be kept for long time.
That's the advantage you are thinking for an executive. What does an executive do? Decision making. Please refer everything to the sole thing that you are doing. You all agree? Is it done? Let's go back to our decision making system. You are about to make a decision. You realize from your experience and education that you require certain information. So what do? You search around. You don't get it. You come to realize that this information is available in Kapurthala. Okay, for whatever reason, the information that you require for your decision making in Patiala is available in Kapurthala. What will you do? Will you go to Kapurthala? No, most of the time what will you do? वो सबसे छोटा होगा ना, पता है? और जा कपूरथला और शाम तक लेके आ जाओ। Yes or no? करते हैं ना वैसे? क्या किया आपने? There was an obstacle. What was the obstacle? Distance or place. So you overcome by sending somebody to Kapurthala. Now this fellow reaches Kapurthala and for some reason the office is closed. जैसे आज कुछ हो गया वो नेताजी का तो क्या हुआ? नहीं मिली। क्यों? Because of time. Next day. Now this person reaches Kapurthala place office next day. Is it guaranteed that he will get the information? अब क्या हो जाएगा साहब? वो बंदा ही नहीं है जिसने इन्फॉर्मेशन देनी, क्या करोगे आप? वो छुट्टी पे आज. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three obstacles between you and the information that you require for your decision making. First is place. Second is time. Third is person. रोड़े हैं विभाग के बीच में, इन तीनों रोड़ों को दूर करने के लिए आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एप्लीकेशन। If you want to remove these three bottlenecks, okay, then you should use information. Why? Because you can fetch any information from anywhere. आपको किसी को भेजने का जरूरत नहीं। ओके, आप जब गूगल पे जाते हो तो आपको पता है इन्फॉर्मेशन कहाँ पड़ी हुई है ना, मेरे को जरूरत नहीं जानने की, मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए वो मेरे को जहाँ मिलती है जहाँ मैं बैठा हूँ। ओके, सिमिलरली टाइम, इज देयर एनी टाइम 10 से 5 ऐसा कोई नहीं। Whenever it is convenient for me, I fetch that information. Do I require anybody's help? No, I can do it myself. So 3 advantages which IT gives for an executive for decision making is freedom from place, time and person. And that is the reason why more and more usage of information technology is entering into professional work as well as in the personal work. You realize why IT is gaining so much importance? Because it is facilitating our work, whether it is professional or whether it is personal. And more applications are built based on these 3 important characteristics or advantages which IT gives. Look at any application, anywhere. If it is not giving any one of these, then that's not a good application at all. Okay? And if we look into 11:30 is the time, is it? No. What time is break? 11:30. 11:30. No. Maybe you can share a hard copy of your schedule. All right. Now, some of the IT-driven technological development which has taken place in the last few years, maybe 10 to 15 years. I want to share those technologies with you and think about those technologies which you are not yet using. But the kind of technologies I am going to describe here are very, very inexpensive. Very, very inexpensive. Take for example EPS. What is EPS? Anybody can?
Point of sale.
Electronic point of sale. Thank you very much. EPS stands for electronic point of sale. What happens at a point of sale? Point of sale पे क्या होता है? Sorry? पेमेंट होता है और कोई गुड्स लेते हैं। Is it only 2 things? Not electronic, any point of sale. Point of sale पे क्या होता है? There are so much which you would like to capture. Even as a shopkeeper, is it only 2 things that you want to capture? कि कौन प्रोडक्ट बेची और कितने पैसे लिए? नहीं. You would like to change the inventory. मैंने एक कॉलगेट का टूथपेस्ट 100 ग्राम का बेचा तो वो इन्वेंट्री कम हो जाए जिससे मुझे पता लगे कि मेरे पास स्टॉक कम हो रहा है। और क्या पसंद करेंगे आप जानना? Think about a shopkeeper. Sorry? Pattern of purchasing. ये कस्टमर कितने बजे आया? कितने कस्टमर 10 से 12 के बीच में आए? कितने कस्टमर 2 से 4 बजे के बीच में है? How it is going to help the shopkeeper to decide his menu? Right? If 2 से लेके 12 से लेके 2 तक उसके पास 20% कस्टमर आते हैं, तो do you think he will go for lunch? He will not. So you like to capture कितने बजे कस्टमर आया, कौन कौन सी प्रोडक्ट उसने खरीदी, कितने का खरीदा, उसके अलावा कोई चीज़ जानना चाहेगा वो कस्टमर कौन है? Profile of the customer. Was that a housewife or an old man or a young boy, okay, or a neighbor, or somebody who seems to be educated, somebody who seems to be an office goer? So many things at that point of sale. So please remember, point of sale is not necessarily the exchange of money with goods. It's a transaction place. आपके वर्क में कितनी जगह ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं? 2 आदमी इन्वॉल्व कर, 2 पर्सन्स हैं इन्वॉल्व होंगे। इंफॉर्मेशन के साथ इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सचेंज कर, इंफॉर्मेशन के साथ मनी एक्सचेंज कर। Variables are plenty. Will you not like to record all of them? That is where the EPS comes. every transactions variables can be recorded automatically. ये रिकॉर्ड हो गए तो हम उनको एनालाइज कर सकते हैं जो अपने को पुस्तक होती है. What is the price of these EPOS machines? 10 to 15,000 rupees. 10 to 15,000 rupees you can register 10 to 15 to 20 variables at the point of transaction. Right? Similarly, we have EFT POS, electronic fund transfer at point of sale. Have anybody used EFT POS?
Yes.
Yes, tell me what is that?
In the banks.
In the banks, okay. घर में आपने बाजार में नहीं यूज कर. आजकल तो वो ठेले वाला भी वो सब फल वाला भी रखे रखता है.
UPI.
See now? Is it not? That's electronic fund of transfer at point of sale. You don't have to give currency, you don't have to give check or draft or anything. Fast information. Because money today has been converted into information. And that is why information is becoming more dangerous. You understand? ऐसा भी आपका information, currency note नहीं चाहिए, check नहीं चाहिए, draft नहीं चाहिए. Only information चाहिए. That's it. अगर वो information गलत हाथों में जाती है तो मनी ट्रांजैक्शन सिस्टम जो सर अभी आप बोल रहे थे बैंक में जो हम लोग जैसे NEFT, TGS, they are sitting at your own place using your own machines, laptops or phones. You can transfer money from one account to another. Okay? Does not cost anything extra. CD-ROM, very important aspect. CD-ROM की सबसे बड़ी खासियत बताएं. Sorry?
It is read only, it cannot be changed.
Yeah, it is read only, but of course it comes in a version where you can rewrite on it. Anyway, read only. Any other? This is a good qualification, but not the best.
It is cheap, long storage time.
The life is fairly long. How many years? About 60 years. It's not infinite. CD-ROM life is about 60, so after about 30 years, you should copy it. That's not the most important characteristic of a CD. What is the most important characteristic of a CD?
Is it like standalone system?
Portable, yes. It is portable because you can keep it in a pocket and move it. Yes, an important characteristic, but not the most important. बताएं, IT.
High storage capacity.
High storage capacity. Thank you very much. कितनी capacity होती है सर की? सवाल पूछोगे तो
650 MB or DVD.
Alright, I'll change my question. 1 MB space में कितने A4 size papers store करें? A4 size office document in 1 MB.
In JPEG form around 10.
नहीं जी, word में ही होगा.
Word.
इसमें आप you are all using CD-ROMs, is it not? You are all office workers.
Now we use
Around 500 to 600.
Yes, you are almost right. You are almost right. About 300 A4 size office documents can be stored in 1 MB. That 1 MB can be on a CD, 1 MB can be on your pen drive, anywhere. It does not matter. 1 MB space, digital space can store about 300 A4 size office documents. Okay. Now, if the capacity of your CD is, let's say 700 MB, छोटी वाली है, तो कितने पेजेस आ गए इसमें? 2,10,000 A4 size office documents can be stored in. ये आपको आपके डिपार्टमेंट में दिया है ये. How much this will cost? ये पैड राइटिंग पैड 25 पेज में इसमें करीब 25 रुपये तो होगा. CD की प्राइस क्या होती है? Less than 10 rupees. Less than 10 rupees and 2 lakh documents. 25 rupees and 25 rupees. No, this is not the best important characteristic. Imagine a situation where your boss calls you and बोलेगा कि देखो भाई वो एक सेक्रेटेरिएट से मिनिस्टर साहब के दफ्तर से एक लेटर आया है, तो अपने को एक लेटर वो चाहिए जो उन्होंने 2 साल पहले हमको लिखा था, एंड दिस इज अबाउट ट्रांसमिशन बिटवीन लुधियाना एंड जलंधर। कोई प्रॉब्लम थी तो उसके बारे में था, और अभी तेज चल रहा ना, मेरे ख्याल में कोविड के टाइम में आया था, तो प्लीज़ जाके वो लेटर आप क्या करोगे 3 साल में वो सारी फाइलें तो डिपार्टमेंट में गई, आप क्या करोगे? जाना तो पड़ेगा आपको डिपार्टमेंट में, बॉस ने बोला है तो, अनलेस यू टेक कैजुअल लीव लाइक मी, बोला था आज तो मेरा छुट्टी है तो मैं कल आगे निकाल दूँगा। No, this is a common situation, is it not? अक्सर होता है ना ऐसा? Now that is where the CD comes. If you have stored your information in digital format on a CD or on a pen drive or on a hard drive, what will you do now? Are not these 3 clues enough for you? A letter from the ministry or our ministry, maybe 2020 or 21 or 22, whatever. Research and present to you those documents which confirm this criteria. So what is it? This is what we call the selective access. So the most important characteristic of a digitally stored information is selective access. You can decide what document you are looking for and you can find that document. You don't have to go to the courtroom and in that dusty environment. The price is less than 10 rupees. Smart cards. I'm sure today, I mean, in our society, we are using smart cards in various places. But I want to give an example of a tooth stove, maybe of one of the electricity boards. Now, in this store, something like about 50 to 60 trucks come every day. Okay? With some spare parts. Okay? And now when the truck comes in, the truck driver brings a 40-page invoice. 2 copies of that. The invoice has 6 columns. Serial number, name of the item, quantity, rate, order placed on so and so, order number, etc. etc. Right? 40 pages. Each page has 30 entries, 6 columns, and brings to you as a storing chart. तो मैं बोलता हूँ ट्रक ड्राइवर कि साहब ये सामान लाया मैं ट्रक में, ये 2 कॉपी है, पढ़ लो इसको, एक पे साइन करके मेरे को दो, तो मैं आगे चलूँ। आप कितना टाइम लगाओगे इसमें? Just make it. एक दिन में कर दोगे, 40 ट्रक तेरे पीछे करेंगे नहीं, क्या करोगे आज? What is the solution? Solution is completely digitize the entire environment. Bring that information on a smart card. With today's technology, a smart card can contain 512 to 1024 types of information. Okay? And the smart card technology, I am sure you are aware, you don't have to insert a card in the reader. You need to swipe it. So when I come with a smart card issued by you security, okay, you have issued me a card. So when I come with a card, साहब ये आपका सामान रखने आ गया, check करो. So you swipe that card on your machine. The entire information, 40 pages, 6 columns, goes into. It checks whether this order was placed or not. When was placed? How many items were placed? How many are you bringing? All that and discrepancies are printed out in next 10 seconds. This is IT. And what is the price of a smart card? 15 to 20 rupees. Reliance started using smart card way back in 1997 for their refinery in Jamnagar, where 1200 trucks come every day. 1200 trucks come every day. Their work was hampered. They were not able to work at all because of these transactions which are taking place. So they issued security smart cards to their vendors, to their suppliers. So no more this of the yeah? That is the change that can be brought in inexpensive technologies. What? I'm sure now you are using in your transactions with the customer that use the barcodes. Is it not? All your utility bills are barcoded, yes. But imagine that time when it was not barcoded. How difficult it was for your cashier to take money from the customer. And how treacherous it was for the customer to stand in line, गर्मी में सर्दी में बारिश में लाइन में खड़े हो क्यों अगर पैसा नहीं जमा कराए तो आपको भर्ती घाट our society is now using very extensively RFID devices are inexpensive, very inexpensive, particularly the passive type. Active type is more expensive, but passive type RFID devices are very inexpensive. And we can use them for transaction. टोल पे अभी क्या हो रहा है आपका? अपने कार में आपने लगाया हुआ स्क्रीन के ऊपर, कहीं रुकने की जरूरत नहीं। आपका जो स्टिकर है वो आपके बैंक से कनेक्ट है, ओके? आपकी गाड़ी की इंफॉर्मेशन पूरी है उसके अंदर। So the moment you reach that RFID reader at the toll, that reads it and say, okay, this car है, इसका ये बैंक बैलेंस है, इतना टैक्स लगेगा, वो डिटेक्ट होके and signal is up, you go. But then you can think of many other situations where you can use RFID technology. Identification of objects. आपके स्टोर्स होते हैं ओपन में, क्या क्या सामान पड़ा है किसी को पता नहीं होता। यस और नो? अगर आप उनको RFID टैग करें तो you will know where it has been moved. And this is a technology in our society we have been using for more than 10, 15, 20 years. I think it was 2008 when I did something for the Indian Navy. Indian Navy has got 3 major stores, warehouses we call them. The largest was in Visakhapatnam. They have 22 warehouses with something like about 200 yards, 250 yards, 3 floors. And they store 15 lakhs types of items. And now you see the problems of the profession. Navy headquarters in Delhi will receive a cable or information from the commander of the ship, captain of the ship. The message is that we are docking in Kochi on 8th of September, and we are supposed to leave Kochi by 12th of September. And we need all this 500, 600. What is the window of transaction? 4 days, 5 days window. That means within that 5 days, somebody amongst the warehouses have to collect that material, transport it to Kochi. Because if it reaches early, there is no point. If it reaches beyond uses. And out of 15 lakhs items they have stored, how will they find out where it was? So this exercise we did of 2008. We adopted RFID technology with barcodes. For individual items we use barcodes. For a group of items we use a RFID. So anywhere, I mean, you enter the warehouse, go to your console or in the computer, you will find out where is what item. That kind of thing. Imagine the kind of time and money saved. Look at AM devices. Again, our society is using that. Acoustic magnetic devices. Okay. I'm sure recently if you have bought a VCD, okay, or a jewelry or even a book, on that jewelry box or on VCD case, you will find a small 5mm by 5mm black sticker. That sticker is nothing but an AM device. What does AM device do? I go to a VCD store. This is the VCD store. I find, oh, this is CD is good. I keep it in my pocket and then try to get out of this door. I have not paid. Immediately there will be an alarm because some unauthorized movement of an object is taking place. Unauthorized, why? Because I have not paid. And what is the price of that sticker? 5 paise. 5 paise. I'm sure there are large number of applications in your environment, in your offices, where you don't want any unauthorized movement of a file, paper, object, whatever. Right, Tessa is the answer. Okay. So these are the technologies we are looking at. Okay. And then when we look at the communication part, we have plenty of things that we can use. I think I'm not going into each one of them because you are so familiar. Only thing I would like to tell you something about VPN if you are not using it. I do not know whether are you using VPN?
Yes.
But now, how are your different zones or offices are connected through WAN? They are connected to wide area network?
Yes.
Yes. That is very expensive, sir.
Yes.
Wide area network is a very expensive solution. Very expensive. Because you have to install it, you have to maintain it. And when it is broken, then no communication. Yes? So please start using VPN. And VPN is more secure than any other network. I'll give you the reason. Sometimes back, I think about 15, 20 years, I think previous government, okay, they said now you should start banks, they asked the banks to start branches in the villages and small towns, etc. So the biggest problem, the RBI also says that every branch has to submit the end report, the day's transactions by 5 o'clock or some time is fixed. Right? So they use wide area network. They used to use wide area network. Now if you have a bank branch in a village where there is no power in it, okay, no communication, no telephone, then how will this branch report the transactions by 5 o'clock? So RBI tested VPN and they found it is as safe as wide area network and maybe 1,000 times less expensive than a wide area network. Okay. Even for your communication, my suggestion will be don't use the normal network services provided by any vendor, use VPN. Okay. I think GPS, you all understand GPS, Bluetooth vehicle. Bluetooth is something that we are not really leveraging it in our work. Bluetooth allows you to transfer data without cables. I mean, that is the most important characteristic of Bluetooth. Very interestingly, LG and Samsung, two refrigerator companies, major in our country, they have been installing a Bluetooth chip in their refrigerator for last 10 years. We don't know, I mean, as a customer, many of us are not aware. What does it mean? It means that if you are, I mean, all these IT fellows sitting here programming for us, okay, you can program your laptop in association with the Bluetooth chip in your refrigerator. Okay? And you have an egg tray in a refrigerator. And most of the time what happens कि आपको एक ऑमलेट खाना है तो जब रेफ्रिजरेटर में जाते हैं तो वहाँ अंडे ही नहीं है. Okay? It's a very common situation. So what you can do is you can program the Bluetooth to send you a message that 2 eggs left, 1 egg left, no egg left. And program your laptop to place an order to some vendor there. So you will not have a shortage of eggs. So the same thing can be applied in your material management. And Bluetooth is about 70-80 rupees. Alright, I think. Now, coming to the present day situation, mobile computer. It is possible today to do whatever you are doing with your laptop or a desktop with your mobile. Yes or no? So, can we not use mobile computer? Not only transactions which are taking place internally or along with the customers, but allow this facility to the customers also. I hope you have already allowed. Can your customers now pay through mobile? Electricity charges? Can we not expand that to all those areas where somebody has to physically come and pay money or give information? Out of this 140 crore population of our country, do you know how many mobile connections are there? What is the total number of mobile connections in the country currently? Anybody? 30 crore. Sorry? 30 crore. 30 crore. Anybody else? As per per the 31st August 2023 data, India has got 112 crore mobile connections. 104 crore mobile connections out of 140 crore population. Obviously, some people have more than one. Agreed. But if you look at another perspective, out of these 140 crore, what is the average size of the family in our country? 4, 5. Even if you assume 4, how many families are there? 35 crore. So 35 crore families have got 112 crore mobile connections. What does it mean? That a family has got an access to a mobile. Yes? And that is why the government now is insisting that put all applications on mobile. Because that way, neither the department or the organization has to go to the customer or to the vendor, nor the vendor or the customer has to come to the department for any time. Cloud computing. Is there any data on your cloud in your organization? Which cloud you are using?
Not yet.
Not yet.
In process.
In progress. What is the advantage of putting your data in cloud?
Physical maintenance of
Very good. What else?
physical.
No hardware itself. No hardware.
So hardware is there. Hardware is there, but it is not lying with the. It is lying somewhere else.
What does it matter to me? मेरे डिपार्टमेंट ने तो पैसे नहीं खर्च करे ना hard disk
But
पे.
we have to pay as you use.
Pay as you use. That is the right thing. Pay as you use. If I don't use, I don't pay. Simple as that. I can expand, I can reduce. Scaling is possible. कुछ नहीं खरीदना, बेचने की जरूरत नहीं हमने. Version change, I don't care. Security, I don't care. Okay, these are all the advantages of cloud. In fact, Government of India has already created its own cloud. What is the name of that cloud? Meghraj. But unfortunately, as on date, Meghraj is fully booked. No space available. So that is why many state governments like Karnataka, like Telangana, they have already created their own cloud. I'm sure there is, I believe, I heard somewhere. Punjab government is also trying to create its own cloud. 4 words, S and AC. This is the key 4 words for utilizing information. S stands for social media. Okay. M stands for mobile. A stands for analytics and C stands for cloud. This is a deadly combination of 4 technologies which are easily available in our society. Social media, mobile, analytics and cloud. So whatever you are doing now, any development that is taking place in your organization has to keep in view these 4 technologies. I think we'll skip that and paperless office is perhaps not feasible, but less paper office is really. Okay. We can reduce the usage of paper as much as possible. Why? Because we can have document image processing. For example, you might be generating a large number of invoices for example, or bills or whatever, or receiving other way. They are coming to you. Now you don't have to use that paper, you can process the image, convert all the data, all the information on that document into a spreadsheet. This technology is available. I am sure many of you are. स्कैन करते तो फोटो बन जाते, but ये जो स्कैनिंग है, this creates a spreadsheet. It will put the right number in the right column and row. So as you are scanning, you are creating the entire data set. And then you can use the data set anywhere for whatever purpose you want. Okay. We have electronic data interchange, which we have been using for maybe 30-40 years in our country, which is now extended. And also the internet and the virtual storage. Cloud as possible. But cloud is more than a virtual storage. So these are some of the aspects of information technology that we can incorporate in our working of our organization. So Digital India, I'm sure you would have heard the name of this project. Yes or no? When was Digital India launched?
14.
2015. Good India. When Digital India was launched in 2015, the total allocation of funds for Digital India was more than 1 lakh crore. And at that point, this was the government scheme with the largest allocation of funds for that. And recently, I think it is March or somewhere, I think after March, about 60,000 crore rupees have been added to this, because this was supposed to end in 15 to 25. So now we are already in 23. So 50,000 crore has been all added to this. For what? And that is what we have to use in our own organization. That is what I am going to share with you. That the organization should become cashless, number one. Number two, it should become faceless. Okay. And third, it should become paperless. Then only the real application of IT comes. Cashless means no need of transacting cash from anywhere, from your vendor, from your customer, from anybody. Okay, or your employees. You pay their monthly salaries. Cashless. Faceless means the interaction between two persons should not take place. If I have to pay something to your department, to your organization, I need not come and interact with any other person. Similarly, other way around. That is faceless. Paperless means no information should be either printed on the paper or the paper should be displayed. That's what it is. And the kind of provisions are, I am going to share with you here. We have DigiLockers, we have e-filing, e-forms, e-sign. To make it faceless, we have Aadhaar, e-KYC, e-identity, Retina, biometric, e-sign. And for cashless, we have payment gateways now, unified or UPI, e-wallet. These are the infrastructures which have been created by the government. If we are not utilizing this infrastructure and making our professional life easier, then we are not using it. Some more technologies which are being implemented in the name of digital transformation are cloud and distributed clouds, data and business analytics, customer experiences, cyber security, identity, artificial intelligence, mobility, work from home, BYOD. Are you using BYOD? Not yet. BYOD is bring your own device, which means that organization need not spend on laptops or desktops. You bring your own device and connect yourself. So you become a part of the entire network. And then connectivity, ERP, supply chain, procurement, blockchain, HR technologies, IoT, e-commerce, payments, okay. Biometrics. Now these are all the things that are in pipeline at some stage in various organizations. Some organizations are far ahead, some organizations are still taking steps to get into this arena of information technology. So I do hope that some of this, what I have described, is already practiced in your organization. Some is being now introduced, like ERP we are introducing, and I'm sure you have plans to introduce some. Now this all is background of IT. But what is the implication of using IT? The flip side of it. That is what we are going to look into when we come back from our tea break. Okay? But before we go to tea break, any questions anybody has? In fact, we are not asked any questions. I only have been asked. So any question, any observation anybody would like? Anybody? Of course, there are lots of enabling role which IT can play. Shared databases or expert systems, or you can have networks, or you can have decision support systems, or you can even have wireless and laptops and PDS, or interactive videos are possible today, and RFID, of course, we discussed about it, and high performance computing. I mean, there are many aspects that can be leveraged in increasing the efficiency of an organization. To conclude, I want to share a few things with you. Can you make out something from this equation? IT plus IT equals IT. Yes? Anybody? Guess was?
Equation is not balanced, it should be 2 IT.
Sorry? Very good. IT plus IT equals IT. That's one of the right perspectives, yes. But in this equation, this first IT represents Indian talent. Indian talent. The second IT represents information technology. So Indian talent plus information technology, the third IT stands for India tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. So we can go for tea, and please come back in the next 15 minutes so that we can start. Shall we start or wait for? Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Are there any questions? Questions? Something that you have not understood, or you think there is no need to talk about? Okay. So in the last 1.5 hours or so, I tried to explain to you the increasing usage of information technology in professional life, also in personal life. And the unfortunate part, at least in our society, is that very often we are mixing the two, professional and personal. Okay. And particularly when it comes to communication part. Don't you think so? What is the official email service provider for your organization? Or are you using Gmail? Microsoft Exchange. Okay. Are you not using Gmail? No. Very good. Oh, personal use is different, but official use, you are not using Gmail. Okay, very good. Are you using WhatsApp for official work also? Okay. So which is also dangerous. In fact, there are many organizations, in fact more than the other type, which are still using Gmail or maybe Rediff mail or any other mail for the organizational purposes. That's very, very dangerous, because see, otherwise in the normal circumstances you would have, if there is a confidential document that has to go from one place to another, you put it in a file and put that red tape onto it and lifafe mein dal ke seal laga ke and all that, and now you are just sending that message to through Gmail, which is accessible to anybody, okay, and that is why it is dangerous. Similarly, WhatsApp, I am sure you are aware that there is a record available of WhatsApp. Even if you delete your messages, there is a record that you received such and such message. Okay, that is one side, and the other side, the legal sanctity which is given to WhatsApp. This happened, I mean, this started something like about 2 years, 3 years ago in Bombay High Court. The High Court, I mean, as a part of the proceedings of a criminal proceedings against a person, a summon was to be served to a person, and on 2 to 3 hearings in the High Court, the police reported, Maharashtra police reported that we could not deliver the summon, serve the summon to this person. So, this judge got annoyed and he says, he asked the police force, I mean the representative of the police, that does this criminal or accused has a mobile? So, they confirmed yes, he has a mobile. So, judge asked the next question, has he got a WhatsApp? He is a part of WhatsApp. So, the police replied yes, he is a part of WhatsApp. So, judge asked the police to serve the summon through WhatsApp. So, the summon was served to this person through WhatsApp, and when the 2 ticks came, the judge said that summon is served now. Now, which means that we are giving legal sanctity to messages sent through digital media. Okay. Now, that is good in a way, but dangerous also in another way. So, we have to be very, very careful when we start using communication part with information technology. Okay. So, in this session, in the next 1.5 hours or so, I am going to share with you, or kind of paint a picture of what could be the possibility of harm when we start using digital medias for communication part. Okay. So, please, my earnest request once again is that ask questions. You remember this, and you said you make decisions, and you said you make decisions based on information, right? And you also agreed in the last session that information and communications are the 2 important things that are necessary to run an organization successfully. Now, moving forward, what do you do? I asked that question, and we all agreed that one of the most important things you do is decision making. Now, come little lower. What exactly do you do in your office? You make decisions, yes, but to make decisions, what do you do? I know, I do not think anybody would have asked you that question, so what do you do, but very important for us to understand what exactly we do there. इमेजिन आपके घर में कोई छोटा बच्चा है, वो आपसे पूछे कि आप दफ्तर में क्या करते हो, तो आप क्या बताओगे उसको? डिसीजन बनाते हैं, तो उसको समझ नहीं आएगा ना डिसीजन, वो तो 3री क्लास में पढ़ता है, उसको कैसे बताएंगे आप क्या करते हो, क्या क्या करते हो आप दफ्तर में? सॉरी, let's go down from that decision making part. Do you do this? Yes. Do you do this? Yes. And this, and this, also this, this. You do all these 7 things? Yes. इसके अलावा 8 माह कोई काम करते हो क्या आप? इसके अलावा कोई काम करते हो? बताएं मेरे को। नहीं करते तो नहीं बोले, हाँ करते तो बताइए। कुछ नहीं करते आप। इन 7 काम के अलावा आप ऑफिस में कुछ नहीं करते। यस और नो? यू एग्री? ओ टी ब्रेक तो सॉरी वो करते हैं आप, बहुत अच्छी बात है। But essentially for your all office work, when you are sitting, whatever capacity you might be the chairman or whatever level you are, these are the 7 essential things that you do, right? You capture information from maybe your visits, from your field visits, from somewhere. You process information, okay? You can write notes, तो आप note sheet पे लिखते हैं, that is a processing of information. You produce documents, कोई भी orders हैं या purchase है या जो भी है उसके आप documents बनाते हैं. You transfer information from one place to another, one register to another, one file to another, okay, one person to another, and you also transfer documents. You store documents and information. That is where your safety part comes in. You know? Whether you are keeping safe those documents from the natural calamities or from thefts, okay, because you store them in a steel almirah or somewhere, and then when you go home you lock the almirah and lock your office. So that is the safety part that you use, and retrieve information and documents as and when they are needed. And this is what professionals have been doing traditionally. ये आज नहीं कर रहे, आपसे पहले जनरेशन, उसके पहले जनरेशन वो यही करते थे, लेकिन मोड चेंज हो रहा है. कैसे? Earlier it was completely manual, everything was manual, but over a period of time in our society we have changed the mode. The mode is becoming digital now. We are using varieties of digital devices to do all these things, okay, and gradually all these digital devices that we are using are now interconnected. Not only interconnected, but they are also connected through the internet. Very soon I am going to show you the internet, कैसे internet है और कहाँ पर है, देखेंगे उसको. But these are the changes which are taking place in our society, okay. So the kind of devices we are using, computers, smartphone, camera, watch, I mean you name, and today I mean any equipment, anything that you have got has a capability of doing all these things. Is it not? You can take a photograph, share with anybody. You have a document that you have received and you want to share that document with somebody else thousands of kilometers away, you take a photograph and send it through WhatsApp or any other means. Communication is becoming very, very fast. But at the same time, let us look at the flip side. What problems it is creating? Okay. So from manual we are now completely moving towards digitized environment. From digitized environment we are also moving towards interconnected environment, completely interconnected. And it is not interconnection within your organization, आपके zonal offices होंगे, district level, divisional level, whatever, they are connected, but you are also connected to your ministries, okay, to your state capital, and not only that, you are also connected to certain Government of India organizations, directly connected, and maybe external to the country itself. So this is connectivity is all increasing every day, okay. And since it facilitates our work, it gives us freedom to do that, it increases our efficiency. We are never looking as to what problems it is creating. We are only looking at the positive side, only on the positive side. But then when we look around, I mean we read the newspapers or televisions or reports which are coming in, there are lots and lots of people who are interested in what are you doing. It was very difficult for them when you are doing it manually. They have to be physically present. आपके ऑफिस में आएंगे, देखेंगे क्या कर रहे हैं. अभी तो वो ज़रूरत नहीं आने का. Sitting thousands of kilometers away from us, they can know what you are doing. Okay, such kind of, I mean, technology development is on all sides. Today there are software available in the, I think tomorrow and day after tomorrow we are going to discuss more about those. Simple softwares which are available, and most of them are free or very inexpensive, which you can install or I can install to find out which key you are pressing in your on your keyboard. Okay. So, I am sitting thousands of kilometers away and I will know what are you doing kind of thing. Earlier it was not possible. So, the security was not such an important aspect, except that securing the documents in the safe place physically, कहीं बारिश का पानी ना लगे, धूप ना लगे, those kinds of things. Okay. So, when you look at the future role of IT in office and your workplace, it is increasing every day. More and more we are dependent on information technology. Okay. We have varieties of things. I mean, handwriting recognition is there, voice recognition is already there, tablet PCs are there, or PDAs are there. And the power of these PDAs, personal digital assistants as we call them, is increasing tremendously. I am sure IT people will know that today if you look at the software we are using for mobile is much more sophisticated, much more capable than possibly Windows. Yes or no? Yes. So, and then size. Today you can keep your mobile, which is more powerful than your normal laptop, in your pocket and move around. Okay. Then Wi-Fi hotspots. Every government department is telling us that we are creating Wi-Fi hotspots. आप बस स्टैंड पे जाओ तो वहाँ मिल जाएगा, आप यहाँ जाओ तो. But nobody is telling is it is advisable to use that hotspots or not. What are the dangers? What are the precautions I should say? I mean, governments are telling आप कहीं पे हॉस्पिटल में चले जाओ, होटल में चले जाओ, रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म, बस स्टैंड, एयरपोर्ट, सब जगह आपको कनेक्टिविटी मिल जाएगी. But should I use that connectivity? And if I have to use that connectivity for whatever reasons, what precautions do I take? And if I don't take precautions, what are the dangers? Now, this is something that we have to understand for both parts, the professional as well as personal. Okay. Then we are moving towards a cashless society. Okay. पटियाला में भी होगा, दिल्ली में है. I mean that वो नारियल वाला है, उसने भी वो अपना रखा हुआ है QR अपना, is it not? And there was a video going on, I think Maharashtra or somewhere, where a vegetable seller lady, she had that QR code on the back of her weighing scale. वो जो ऐसे होता है ना बर्तन में, उसमें पीछे लगा रखा है, पैसे आपको देने वो दिखा देती है, आप उसको पैसे दे दीजिए. So we don't require, I mean our society is becoming cashless at that level. Okay, I am not talking of any other business levels or organizational level, at an individual level as a vegetable seller or any other fruit seller or somebody, chaat wala, they are all having QRs now to transfer money. And there are many ways of doing it. Okay. And every day more facilities are being given for these cashless transactions. But again nobody is telling us as to what are the dangers this of. Dangers, okay, dangers are always there. When you start driving a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, there is a danger, but then people are there to tell you danger, and people are there or the systems are there in the society which tells that if you don't follow the road signals, traffic signals, then there is a possibility. If you don't drive on left hand side, then there is a, but such kinds of things are not available when we start using information technology or IT driven technology drives. Okay. Map of internet. Has any one of you seen a map of internet? देखा आपने किसी ने? मैं भी दिखाता हूँ. मैप से अपने को क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है? अभी आपको पटियाला का मैप दिखाएं और एक मैप दिखाएं, बोलें मैं कहता हूँ ये पटियाला का मैप है, तो आप कैसे बोलोगे कि नहीं ये पटियाला का मैप है या नहीं है? क्या देखोगे आप उसमें? लैंडमार्क्स देखोगे और बाउंड्रीज देखोगे कि साउथ में क्या है इसके, आपको पता है कि पटियाला के साउथ में कौन सी जगह आती है, नॉर्थ में क्या आता है, ईस्ट में क्या आता है, राइट। आपको ये भी पता है कि पटियाला का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कौन करता है। जब हम पटियाला की बात करते हैं तो आपके दिमाग में आता है पटियाला को एडमिनिस्टर कौन करता है, या हिसार में जाएं तो हिसार में एडमिनिस्टर कौन करता है, राइट। सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द थिंग्स विच बिकम apparent when you see a map. Should not these things be become apparent when you see a map of internet? Yes or no? होना चाहिए। अभी आप देखिए मैप, this is the map of internet. Now let's ask those questions we were just now thinking about. Does it have borders? So I do not know what is on the north and what is on the south, and no, there are no borders really. Where it starts, where it ends, no idea. Whose laws apply? किसके कानून अप्लाई होते हैं वहाँ पर, कहाँ है वो कानून, है कोई कानून? But we use internet left and right. Okay. Where did that email come from? आपके पास एक ईमेल आती है, वो कहाँ से आई, आपको कुछ पता है आपको? You don't know. अनजान जगह से, अनजान आदमी से एक ईमेल आती है and I act on that, thinking this is official or thinking this is personal, sent by my brother. लेकिन श्योरिटी नहीं है, आपको पता नहीं है कि पक्के से कि ये आई कहाँ से है, किसने भेजी है. Yes, are we just groping in the dark now? Has the IT made us blind? Is it not the reality? अगर इसके अगेंस्ट कुछ है तो बताएं आप मेरे को, आपकी समझ में कुछ आता है तो. Where is the web server? कहाँ पर है फिजिकली वेब सर्वर, कहाँ पर रखा हुआ, पता नहीं. Okay. In the next two sessions, we are going to focus on these issues also, as to what are those laws, what is the applicability of, let's say, IT Act 2000. कहने के लिए ठीक है, IT Act है हमारे देश में या दूसरे देशों में भी है, but one of the provisions of the IT Acts all over the world is that that act is applicable to such transactions which have happened with an hardware which is located in that country only. अब आप समझते हैं कि लॉ में तो, कानून में तो वो बाल की खाल निकालते, बट दैट इज़ द मेजर प्रोविजन. अगर कोई फ्रॉड उस कंप्यूटर से हुआ है आपके साथ जो इंडिया की सॉइल पे नहीं है, तो IT एक्ट इज़ नॉट एप्लीकेबल. आप IT एक्ट में कुछ नहीं कर सकते उस बंदे का. ओके. और हमको पता ही नहीं है मेल कहाँ से आ रही है. ओके. हमको यही भी नहीं पता कि ये मैसेज किसने भेजा है, पता नहीं है. नाउ दीज आर द थिंग्स विच क्रिएट ए काइंड ऑफ ए डेंजरस zone for us for entering into IT, and it does not mean that we should not use. Of course, it facilitates our work so much that we are using it, but then we should be aware of the consequences, and we should also be aware of what precautions we should take. Okay. Now, very often organizations think that we are not such an organization who will be a target for a criminal. I'll share with you the latest figures which are available. You name any organization which is not a target. Industry, government, education, online services, news, political organizations, finance, ISPs, military, sports, entertainment, e-commerce, anytime. Whatever business you are into, there is a danger. There is a probability that you will be attacked, because somebody can benefit from that. Okay. So, if you look at here, industry is 21%, government is 18%. So, almost something like about 20, 30, 40% targets are either industry or the government. So, criminals are lurking around They are waiting for a chance to get into your organization and get certain important information with which they can make money, or they can disturb your operations, whichever their objective is. Both kinds of criminals are available today. Some who are looking for money, some are looking for destruction. Okay. So, if you look at industry, if you look at government, it is almost about 40%. Okay. And your industry or your organization belongs to a critical infrastructure. For example, if somehow power supply is disturbed, what happens to the entire state? Imagine that. Thousands of crores of rupees are being generated through industry, through agriculture, which is dependent on electricity. And suppose electricity is not available, let us say for a week, what happens then? Chaos. Okay. Lots of other facilities which are provided by the government are run by electricity. What will happen to them? Okay. Your banking, for example. So, you can see the consequences of that. Okay. Later I am going to tell you another thing very important for your organization. If you are not already doing that, you will have to start doing that. I will come to that. Now, where are these criminals? Where are these criminals? Security threats come from 43% from your current employees, 43%, okay. 28% from former employees, जो छोड़ गए, रिटायर हो गए या आपने उनको निकाल दिया. 2-3 कैटेगरीज होती है ना फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयज़ की, कुछ रिटायर होते हैं, कुछ छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, कुछ को आप निकाल देते. तीनों में से कह रहे हैं ये 28%. And then your business partners and suppliers 12%. Now, if you add up these three categories, we get how much? 83%. 80% are those people whom we know. हम जानते हैं उनको, अपने employees को, former employees को, business partners को. So, somebody who is known to us, somebody who knows the organization is likely to be a threat. Which means what? Which means that we should have counter systems available in our organization, so that such category of people are not able to take advantage. Okay. A simple example I want to give you, my personal example. I was traveling and happened to sit next to a person who was a fairly senior manager in a bank, private bank. Okay. Now, when we were discussing about this, he told me that in our bank we have perfect systems. Okay. So, the current employees and the former employees and these, they cannot do anything wrong with us. So, I asked him a question. He says, sir, I work in your organization at a very low position, maybe an assistant or kind of thing, and for some reasons you suspend me. Okay, maybe behavior, maybe whatever, you issue me a suspension letter that right from the immediate effect, I mean whatever language you use in your admin, from the immediate effect Vijay Gupta is suspended. And so he says, yes, we do that. So I said, whom do you send the copies of this suspension letter? So he says, obviously we will send a copy to you, we will send a copy to the security so that you are not allowed in the premises. We will also send a copy of this to the accounts so that you are not paid anything till your suspension is over. So I asked him, anybody else? He said, what else? That's enough. So I asked this person, he says, hey, I am a bank employee, I have access to passwords. Did you send a copy of this letter, suspension letter of mine, to your system administrator, who will block my passwords? He says, no, we don't do that. I said, that is the problem. So, when we are looking at information technologies in impact, have you ever involved your department of personnel or HR or administration? Generally not. We think that in most of the organizations think that information security or information technology is the responsibility of IT. Yes or no? Yes? जैसे ये जाने हमको क्या पता, ये आपको नहीं पता, आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में बैठे हुए हैं और एक आदमी को सस्पेंड कर रहे हैं जिसके पास एक पासवर्ड है आपके अकाउंट्स को एक्सेस करने का, तो वो क्या करेगा? एंड इन ए सिचुएशन व्हेन आई फील दैट आई एम विक्टिमाइज्ड, देयर वाज नो फॉल्ट ऑफ माइन फॉर सस्पेंशन, बट यू हैव सस्पेंडेड मी, सो मैं क्या करूँगा? आप समझ सकते हैं, इज इट नॉट? So, which means that when we start using information technology, it is not only the role of information technology department, there are other departments who are also equally important players in keeping you safe. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, do you think information technology is an asset? Or information is an asset? Yes or no? Yes. Information is an asset for any organization. In fact, if you look at the market capitalization of Fortune 500 companies, 70% of their assets are information assets. Now, this is where another aspect of security comes in. Most of the time we pay more attention to the physical assets. इज इट नॉट? आप भी अपने दफ्तर में काम कर रहे हैं, रात को 6-7 बजे बज गए तो आप घर जाना है अभी आपको, तो वो चौकीदार या कोई भी ऑफिस बॉय होगा, उसको आप जाते जाते क्या बोलते हो? यार ये ताला बंद कर देना तो, और लाइटें भी बंद कर देना, सर देखेंगे तो अच्छा नहीं लगता. हैव यू एवर आस्क्ड दैट पर्सन कि मेरा देखना ना नेट तो नहीं ऑन है? हैव यू एवर आस्क्ड दैट क्वेश्चन? हैव यू एवर सजेस्टेड दैट? आपको किसकी फिक्र है? बिजली की और मेज कुर्सी की, और मेज कुर्सी के ऊपर कुछ रखा हुआ उसकी, और बिजली की, क्योंकि सर नाराज होंगे अगर वो ऑन देखेंगे तो. यू आर नॉट वरीड अबाउट योर इंफॉर्मेशन, जबकि 70% एसेट्स ऑफ योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आर इंफॉर्मेशन एसेट्स. वी ओनली केयर फॉर 30%. बट टाइम्स आर चेंजिंग. Okay, times are changing very much, and if we are not able to keep our 70% assets secure, you can understand what will happen. What will happen is this: the world lost more than US dollars 150 billion as a result of information theft last year. Okay, $150 billion. Why? Because our focus was only on the physical assets which are visible to us. वो फोटोकॉपियर रखा है, ये रखा है, ये रखा, उसका देख रहे हैं हम. कंप्यूटर में क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन है, हार्ड डिस्क में क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन है, सर्वर प्रॉपरली लॉक्ड है कि नहीं, सर्वर प्रॉपरली ऑफ किया कि नहीं. In fact, in many organizations there are what they call is standing orders. Is it not? SOPs, standard operating procedures. कि चौकीदार जाएगा या सिक्योरिटी मैन जाएगा तो ये चेक करेगा, ये चेक करेगा, ये, उसमें कहीं पे हार्ड डिस्क का नाम होता है. आपके यहाँ भी अगर कोई ऐसी SOP है तो उसमें आप देखें कि IT का कहीं पे नाम आता है क्या? नहीं आता है, तो ये खतरे की घंटी है. दैट्स ऑल. ओके. नाउ नॉन प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ दीज एसेट्स, दैट इज 70%, इज ए थ्रेट टू द एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इटसेल्फ. अगर 70% डूब गया, खत्म. Is it not? Now let's see what can we do. What can we do? Where to secure information? 3 levels हैं. At the internet level, or intranet level, or desktop level. और कोई लेवल नहीं है ना? मेजरली 3 लेवल्स हैं. इंटरनेट, इंट्रानेट जो आपके विद इन लोकल नेट एरिया नेटवर्क है, एंड एट द डेस्कटॉप. वेयर विल यू लाइक टू पुट योर मनी? इंटरनेट में, इंटरनेट में या डेस्कटॉप पे. बजट कंस्ट्रेंट्स इज एवरीवेयर. सिक्योरिटी में भी बजट कंस्ट्रेंट होगा. तो अपने पैसे हम कहाँ लगाएंगे, कहाँ पे इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योर करें, डेस्कटॉप लेवल पे या इंटरनेट लेवल पे या इंटरनेट लेवल पे. लेट्स सी द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. ओके, लेट्स सी द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस ऑफ स्पेंडिंग मनी on these three areas. Okay, 3 levels: internet level, network level and desktop level. Now cost of solution. Where will be the cost of solution maximum? Internet level. Thank you very much. Right. Let's take another criteria: difficulty of solution. Where it will be most difficult? Internet level. Thank you very much. And third criteria, criticality. Where it is most critical? At your desktop level. Sorry. Desktop level. So, from these 3 criteria, the cost, the difficulty and the criticality of information, first preference should be the desktop. But if you look at the budgets of large number of organizations anywhere, I am not saying India, they will spend more money on internet level. Of course, people understand that it is impossible to secure information at internet level. मैप का ही पता नहीं है अपने को कहाँ जाता है, कहाँ से आता है. But then very large number of organizations spend lots of money on internet level. यहाँ secure करो, यहाँ करो, यहाँ करो, यहाँ करो. Okay, and you have all those things, you know, honey pots and whatever names you have. Okay, but then our focus should be on the desktop level. Now, when we talk of desktop level, who are the parties there? Who are the parties? Desktop itself is one. Okay, who else? The person who is using it. I have not yet seen many organizations which have a do's and don'ts for the users. Only thing, they make hue and cry and make budget and then purchase as many desktops as possible or laptops as possible and provide to their employees. ये लो ये लो ये लो, अरे भाई इसको करना क्या है ये तो बता दो. Nobody says that. Whereas that user, that employee is a very important party to this. कैसे यूज़ करना है उसने, कब उसको ऑफ करना है, कैसे उसको बैकअप करना है. Okay, nobody, I mean, you are given a laptop and that's the end of it, is it not? So that means we lack our supporting systems to make the information secure. Now take another perspective. I am taking different perspectives. If you take one more perspective here, that perspective is in terms of what we call 3 tenets of information security. 3 tenets. What are those 3 tenets? Confidentiality, integrity and availability. What we call CIA. Confidentiality, integrity and availability. Information stored in your system should remain confidential, number 1, but at the same time it should be available. Are these not contradiction? अगर उसको available कर देंगे तो confidentiality कहाँ रहेगी? अगर उसको accessibility कर देंगे उसकी तो उसकी integrity कहाँ रहेगी? Right? Now, so these are contradictory to each other, and information security in any organization is an effort to balance these 3 things, and that is why many organizations are not able to properly attempt it, because it requires a very precise balance between confidentiality, availability and integrity of the information kept in the organization. Okay. I am going to share with you broadly what is the meaning of integrity, confidentiality and availability. Look at the confidentiality. Confidentiality means is to prevent the intentional and unintentional, unauthorized disclosure of the information content. Three things are in red: intentional, unintentional and unauthorized. When will it become unauthorized? When you have divided the authority, when you have described the authority. Do you have a document in your company, in your organization, which says that okay, this person is authorized to do this, 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 this? Is there any such document? Is it available to every employee? That means our supporting procedures are not up to the security of information. Okay. Similarly, unintentional. How will you prevent unintentional? I have no intentions of disclosing this information, but I do it. So, any solution from IT? What is the simplest thing we can do for unintentional efforts? Simple thing you use in your all programs, don't you? Passwords is one, but no, unintentional. मेरी इंटेंशन नहीं है, क्या करेंगे? Little loud. Give a warning. Role based and then give a warning. Is it role based? That is, I am authorized. Okay. Give me a warning. Do you really mean? Yes. Maybe 2 times if it is very serious information. So that if my intentions were not there, I can amend my instructions. That means it has to be system built, which means that the systems that you are using in your organization should be such that this unintentional part should not arise. Intention is okay, I am a thief, so I will do whatever I can do. But I am an honest man, and my intentions are also not there to send this to everybody, but I am sending. Have you not come with these alerts? Are you sure? आप डालते हैं ना programs में? Are you sure? क्यों डालते हैं? Just to make sure that this person is doing the right thing, is it not? Just to warn him that okay, this is not normal that you are doing. So if you are sure, then it's okay. Now these kinds of things are required in those systems that the employees are using. Okay. Let's come to the integrity part. Integrity means modifications are not made to data by unauthorized personnel or process. Again software comes in. Okay. The people from IT contribution comes in. This kind of amendments or changes cannot be made by other than this process. Have you included in your programs such kinds of clauses? If you are not included, then your systems. Okay. Number 1. Number 2, unauthorized modifications are not made to data by authorized personnel or processes. Same thing as we were looking at this, okay, unintentional part. We have divided, okay, we have given the hierarchy of authorities, but somebody is in that same level, authorized level, tries to do that by mistake, then how are you going to stop that? Okay. This is very important, and particularly in today's conditions where you are going for e-procurement. Okay. See, whenever we change the mode of work, every aspect of the organization affected. Are you going for e-procurement now? Yes or no? Yes. So then this pertains to you for that part of your organization where you are doing e-procurement. How? It says that the data is internally and externally consistent, that the internal information is consistent among all subtitles, sub entities, and that the internal information is consistent with the real world external situation. Very complicated, but what it means that whatever you have kept in your system should only that be visible to outsiders. That is all. By no means no outsider can read anything other than what you intended to. Okay. Now, when you are procuring e-procurement, there is no manual part, is it not? It is only a process, tuck, 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 and then you place an order, payment is made, finished, khatam. Have you made your systems foolproof towards this? That is important. If you have not made, whatever security you have, whatever best software you will bring, it will not work. Okay. Let us look at the third part, availability. You are floating RFPs? Yes? Okay. Now we come to the RFP part. Ensure that reliable and timely access to data and computing resources by the appropriate personnel. When you float an RFP, you are inviting outsiders, is it not, vendors, to come to your site, is it not, download the RFP document and then fill in it, or maybe online fill in it, whatever way. That means you are allowing outsiders to interact on your website, yes. That means they are authorized now to use some of the information, some of the resources which you have kept on your website. Your resources are being now used by outsider. Okay. It is a very, very difficult situation, and large number of organizations have been taken to court because of this clause. Okay. I'll in a minute I am going to tell you. It guarantees that the systems are up and running when they are needed. Your systems. Okay. It also guarantees that the security services needed by the security practitioner are in working order. Let us come to the second part. You have floated in RFP. Okay. You say that the last date to update, to upload my proposal is like the 8th September by 3:30 p.m. Okay. Perfect. That is what the normal thing is there. Do you think as a vendor I am going to upload my proposal on 6th or 5th or 4th or on the last day? What is the most likely date? Last day. Last date and last few minutes. Yes or no? Now, am I the only vendor? 10-20 और है, वो क्या करेंगे, वो पहले कर देंगे क्या? वो भी कोई नहीं करने वाला है. लास्ट 10 मिनट्स में सारे अपलोड होने वाले हैं. यू फॉलो दिस. नाउ यू हैव ए 500 पेज डॉक्यूमेंट RFP जो आपने अपलोड किया था, वो मैंने बना लिया, अब उसको अपलोड करना है. 500 पेजेस अपलोड करने के लिए हमारी जैसी सिचुएशन में जहाँ 1 MB 2 MB अपलोड स्पीड आती है, कितना टाइम लगेगा 500 को अपलोड करने में? मे बी 5 मिनट्स, मे बी 10 मिनट्स. 3:30 is the last time. I start uploading at 3:20. Another vendor, सारे लोग 3:30 पे 3:20 पे अप्लाई करते, अपलोड करना करते. क्या होगा? चौक हो जाएगा. फिर क्या होगा? जिसने शुरू किया पहले वाला उसका तो चला गया, बाकी 2-3 पीछे वाले रह जाएंगे. तो वो भूल जाएंगे क्या इस बात को? वो भूल जाएंगे, यार चलो नहीं अपलोड कर सके, कोई बात नहीं, नेक्स्ट टाइम करेंगे. कैन यू से सच ए थिंग टू द वेंडर? वो वेंडर क्या करेगा? आपको बोलेगा दोबारा करो, इसको खोलो, और नहीं करते तो आई एम टेकिंग यू टू द कोर्ट. एंड दिस हैज हैपेंड. When organizations refute that we cannot go now for whatever administrative reasons, the vendor took that organization to the court. This is the second thing. Guarantees that the systems are up and running when they are needed. Your systems are needed up to 3:30 on that date. They must be up and running. If they are not, there is a problem. Have you ensured these kinds of things in your organization? That is the important thing. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Of course, I mean we will be going more in details of these types of crimes, etc., later on, but this is sufficient for us that there is such a variety of crimes, and new definitions are coming every day. New definitions are emerging because new crimes are emerging, because the criminals are becoming expert now. Okay, they have a better expertise. So new and new ways of crimes are coming up every day. So I am not going into this, but tomorrow and day after we will touch upon these issues again. So major cyber threats are viruses, bombs, logic bombs. The biggest one is the social engineering. The biggest threat is the social engineering. And a society like ours, where we believe others easily, okay, particularly when we see a big name, somebody's big name, somebody says, "ये तो ठीक ही होगा," kind of thing, you know. But then that is what the advantage taken by the criminals. Okay, cyber, I mean social engineering or phishing. Phishing is a crime where you seems to have received a notice from the income tax department, which is happening in the last few months very often. You think this mail has come from income tax department and they say that there is a refund of 7,890 rupees for you. So, please click on this one and the money will go to your bank. In fact, whatever money is there in your bank will go to the criminal now. Okay. So, such things are happening today. The farming or spear phishing, lots of things. I mean there are so many names, some of those names are becoming obsolete and new names are coming. So, anyway, we will be talking about some of them tomorrow and day after tomorrow. The biggest saving for any one of us, the biggest arm that you have got is your password. Biggest safety tool that any one of us has got is the password. Okay. But when we keep the password, it has been found by large number of interactions with people and large number of studies that we try to keep password as simple as possible, so that हमको याद रह जाएगा. Okay. And the situation is becoming such that you don't have one password, you have n number of passwords, is it not? Maybe different bank accounts, maybe for different sites, for different this thing, for whatever. You have plenty of passwords, so you don't want to remember too many passwords. So what do? You use the same password for every situation. Okay, and that is known to the criminals. Criminals को भी पता है कि आपको तकलीफ होती है नया पासवर्ड बनाने में, तो आप एक ही पासवर्ड रखते हैं. ठीक है, उस पासवर्ड में भी most of the time we keep the password based on our name, spouse name, children name, your house number, your car number, your whatever, which is known to everybody. आपका घर का नंबर, कार का नंबर, आपका नाम, ये सब पता है सबको. And that is why it becomes easier for the criminal to attempt a few times. ज़्यादा नहीं, 3-4-5 बार कोशिश करेंगे, वो पासवर्ड पकड़ लेंगे आप. And now coming to people like you who work in office, you also have a very typical habit. Okay, most of the time your passwords will be where? By the side of your monitor. Yes, no? Sometimes you will keep a password, pencil से लिख देंगे उसके ऊपर याद रहेगा. Or I mean most of you have a desk which has got a glass sheet on it, उसके नीचे रख देंगे. Okay, or maybe in your drawer, first drawer, you will have a paper or a diary or lose something, the passwords will be there. So it is not difficult for a trained criminal really to find what is your password. So how do we come out of that situation? Because I said that password is the most potent tool that you have got to protect your information. We will see that. 3 things are there. something you are, something you own, or something you know. What is the meaning of something you are? Biometrics. Okay? Biometrics. Wherever possible, use biometrics as your password. Not everywhere it is allowed to use that or facilitated to use your biometrics, but wherever it is possible, keep your, because that is with you only, that is unique kind of thing. The second best is something you own, means a card, okay, additional card that you own, that you keep with you, right. And third is that we normally use is something that you know, the password. When it comes to the something you know, we are going to, and of course there are certain precautions that one should take. Avoid clicking on links or attachments. The biggest problem we human beings have with respect to security of information is our greed, लालच. कुछ मुफ्त में मिल रहा है तो ले लो. एक मैसेज आएगा आपको उसमें कि आप इस लिंक पे जाएं और आपको 5 चीज़ें फ्री मिलेगी या ये मिलेगा, कुछ भी फ्री मिलेगा. आप बिना देखे कुछ आंखें बंद करके फट से उस पे लिंक पे चले जाते हैं. ग्रीड, यू नो, लालच की प्रॉब्लम है सारी अपनी. बैकअप योर डेटा. I don't know, again SOPs. Have you got SOPs in your organization for backing up data? Yes or no? You have? I mean, different users, different types of users, they have been asked to, they have been told that they have to back up data. Where are they keeping the backup data? How many backups? What is the periodicity of backing data? These are all should be spelled out in the SOP. I met a gentleman in one of the government employees, again fairly senior. So he said, no, I always back up. I said, that's a good habit, sir, you back up. So I asked him, it was in office, the discussion was taking place. So I asked him, where do you keep the backup copies? Say, boss, seriously, he said, I keep it very, very safe. I said, no, can you tell me where do you keep your so he pulled his drawer, the first drawer, he said, देखा यहाँ रखा हुआ. Now is it okay? Backup is fine, but where do you keep the backup? Okay. Similarly, I mean other things like using the antivirus. Use of antivirus. As an organization, you have antivirus policy. Do you use antivirus in all your installations? Yes. Do you update it? Or is it licensed or pirated? Because no, I am sure it must be licensed in your case, but in many organizations, even the antivirus is pirated. Because having spent thousands of rupees or sometimes lakhs of rupees in software or whatever, and the value of your data in crores or lakhs of rupees, you do not want to spend another 3,000, 4,000 rupees for antivirus. I mean that is our way of thinking. Another thing that I want to you to remember is once online, always online. What is the meaning of that? Sorry? No. It has a different connotation. You go to a website, maybe through your own personal laptop or official laptop, and tomorrow then you think, yeah, why should somebody see that I have gone to that website? You delete that. You can't delete it. You can't delete it. That is the meaning of once online, always online. That record is there. So if somebody wants to know where did you go, it can be found out. So what is the lesson? In the first place, don't go there where you think you should not go. Okay. I think we have discussed. Yeah. Now, this is another good habit that you can have, clear your cache and cookies. But then this will require a practice kind of thing over a period of time, so that you always do that kind. Okay. I want to show you. Okay, password control, this is what I was looking for. See, time it takes to a hacker to crack your password. This is a table I am going to show you. So, password length, even 11th characters, if they are numericals, they can be cracked instantly. Okay. We are not using brute force. Okay. Brute force is a tool which is available to the criminals. He can crack your password. Without that, up to 11 digits, if it is only numerical, it can be cracked in instantly. If it is upper and lower case A and Z, then it will take 138 days. Okay. If it is upper and lower case 0 to 9, then it will take 3 years if it is 11 digits. Okay. So, I think if you can come to this range, this yellow part, or sorry, this part or below this side, the green side, you are safer. Okay. I don't know, I am sure some of you, the IT guys, you must be knowing that my suggestion to you will be that please use hash and dollar simultaneously. In any password, use hash and next dollar any place. For example, you have a 8-digit password. So, anywhere in this 8 digits, use hash sign and dollar sign together. That will make your password fairly secure, because hash and dollar, they break the chains. When somebody is trying to find out your password, when the hash appears and subsequently dollar appears, then the complete chain is broken. That is why they are considered safer. Some important aspects for as an organization is merging physical and cyber security. Many organizations have already done. Physical security had been a function in most of the large organizations. Some security officer will be their manager and somebody, depending on the size and locations of the organization. But now, many organizations have already merged the two, physical and information part. Okay. That is one thing that we should do. Realigning security, risk and compliance strategy to flexible allies. I mean, particularly the compliance strategy. How the physical strategy, physical security is administered in an office? You are given a ID card, is it not? Now, can you think of an ID card which also make sure that you are not able to do something with your data? That is the merging of the two, physical and the cyber security part. Okay. Ensuring security frameworks are layered with multiple built-in security principles. You cannot really depend on having one layer of security. You will have to have multiple layers. Okay. For example, now it is becoming very common in our society to have cameras kind of thing around, is it not? So, which is again a combination, as you can find out over a period of time who entered, where somebody entered, how long that person remained there, those kinds of information can be gathered if we have a CCTVs around kind of thing. Partnering strategically to bolster finite skills and resources and capital. Okay, I mean that is not okay. I think we'll move on to. This is the last thing. What time we are supposed to break? 1:15, no? Yes. Okay. So last thing. two things I want to share with you is this list I am going to give you of the government organizations, because you are also a government organization. So, they can help you in securing your information assets, right. Now, these organizations are Data Security Council of India, and my suggestion will be those who are responsible for the security, information security, they must visit the websites of these organizations to get more and more information. Then Ministry of Law, Justice and Company Affairs, CDEC, Department of Telecommunication, but most important is the CERT-In, Computer Emergency Response Team. CERT is an international organization. It is available in about 50 to 60 countries. We are one of them. So, our CERT is CERT-In. In fact, there are states in our country which have created CERT also, SERT, okay, State Emergency Response Team kind of thing. But Punjab does not have that CERT, but CERT is there. CERT is a central government body, and you must visit this website to ensure that the latest information about the viruses etc. is available. In fact, if you are bogged down with certain kind of virus or any malfunction in your system, you must report to CERT within 6 hours. Are you aware of that instructions now? Within, I mean, if there is any suspicion also that some attack has taken place in your systems, you are supposed to report within 6 hours to CERT. There is a specific format, on that format you are supposed to report. Then RBI is there, and then this is another thing that I wanted to share with you, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, NCIIPC. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
IT group, okay, you are using it, are you a member of this? ऑन बोर्ड हैं इनके आप? गुड. अगर ऑन बोर्ड नहीं है तब आपके लिए प्रॉब्लम है. अगर आप इसमें ऑन बोर्ड हैं, यू हैव ऑलरेडी रजिस्टर्ड योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विद दिस, then good. But are you following their instructions? कर रहे हैं आप लोग, वो precautions ले रहे हैं अपने thermal plants पे, यहाँ पे distribution lines पे और उस पे. Okay. Because this is an organization where the government of India has identified those critical information infrastructures. Electricity or power generation is one of those. But then this organization does not take suo motu actions or recognition. The organization has to apply, like your friend says that you are already on board this organization, right. So, they have lots of instructions or manuals are available that you must follow and apply those precautions within your plants and distribution lines and those kinds of things. Okay, MIT is of course there, and NCRDC. Okay. Now, coming to this one, Controller of Certifying Authority, I am sure many of you are using digital signatures. Is there anybody sitting here who is using digital signatures? कोई है आपके? आप लोग यूज़ करते? अकाउंट्स में, प्रिक्योरमेंट में यूज़ करते होंगे? यस. ओके. हाँ. आप लोग कहीं पे PFMS यूज़ करते हैं? कोई PFMS यूज़ नहीं करते कहीं पे भी? ओके. So, I am sure there are some officers within your organization who are supposed to use digital signatures. Now, my suggestion will be, please make them aware of the security of digital signatures. Okay. The important thing, I am sure some of you who are not there today as authorized digital signatory in the organization, tomorrow you might become. Digital signatures are not to your designation. They are individually in your name. Okay. वो आपकी डेजिग्नेशन पे नहीं कि आप एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर है तो उसकी जगह साइन कर रहे, वो नहीं. आप धर्मेंद्र सिंह है तो धर्मेंद्र सिंह के ही सिग्नेचर है वो. Which means that dongle which has come to you from this organization, okay, which is the CCSA जो उनके अंडर जो CA हैं, सर्टिफाइंग अथॉरिटीज़ हैं, उनसे जो इशू करते हैं, वो कैसे संभाल के रखना है, वो इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है. ओके. बिकॉज समबडी कैन मिसयूज योर डिजिटल सिग्नेचर्स. ओके. एक GPA होता है, आप समझते हैं? जनरल पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी, नाम सुना है ना आपने? सॉरी, what is GPA? GPA is somebody can make a statement saying that all my this funds related or property related or anything, I authorize him to take decisions on my behalf. That is a GPA. Now, if somebody finds your digital signatures unattended, that is equivalent to a GPA. Okay? He can misuse it any place, anywhere he likes. Okay? We are almost coming to our interaction on this. So, if you have any questions, any question somebody's mind. Yes, sir.
So my question is regarding the cookies.
Cookies, okay.
We visit some websites
Yes,
and they will just ask in a prompt and accept all or accept selected cookies.
yes.
Is there a concern with security or what?
Yes, they are, because some of the cookies can come and sit in your computer when you allow them. Okay, and a cookie may be in the form of a software which will be installed without your permission, or without your knowledge on your hard disk, and even it can send the keystrokes to the owner. So that means when you are accessing your account, let us say on internet banking, so you have to put the passwords kind of thing, transaction password for example. So that person will know what is your transaction password. So beware. I mean, firstly, don't go to a a site which is not reliable, which you do not know about. I mean, that is the best policy one can adopt. Number two, when you receive a mail, if you do not know from where it has come to, and if you think that if you know that you do not know that person, please don't click on any link on that mail, because it could be dangerous.
In case we get it, where we get it linked, so what you need to do on that?
Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, it is better to avoid that than get into it and then get out of it.
It is coming into all these websites nowadays.
Yes. See, that is why all these criminals are more active than any one of us. Okay. Because what they are looking for is one success, that's all. Is it not? अभी आपके पास जो फ़ोन आते हैं ना कि यहाँ प्रॉपर्टी बेच रहे हैं, यहाँ इंश्योरेंस करा लो, वो क्या करते हैं? उनकी स्ट्राइक रेट पता है आपको क्या है? सक्सेस रेट पता है क्या होती है? लेस देन 1%. वो 100 लोगों को कॉल करते हैं तो शायद एक उनमें से राजी होता है इंश्योरेंस कराने के लिए, लेकिन करते हैं ना, रोज़ आते हैं आपके पास फ़ोन. सो द सेम थिंग विद देम. दे ऑल्सो ट्राई टू रीच मे बी 1000 पीपल और मे बी 10 lakhs पीपल. अगर उनको एक सक्सेस मिल गई तो पूरा दिहाड़ी होगी उनकी, साल भर की काम हो गया काइंड ऑफ.
Sir, one of the previous slides, there was one point, clear cache and cookies.
Yes,
Just clearing that solve the problem by accident.
to some extent, not fully. I said once online, always online.
Because it is coming to all the government websites also.
It is coming. And in fact, a good criminal will copy a government website. Like if they can copy income tax website or income tax complete letter, you will assume that it has come from income tax department. So this is what they are doing, and they will continue, because I told you the main cause of all this is greed. हमको लगता है कुछ फ्री में मिल जाए तो ले लेते हैं. Any other question anybody has got, or any other observation somebody would like to make? Look here, what he says, that malicious actors are everywhere, but the human error is still the greatest cause of data breaches. Those actors, तो उनका काम है भाई, क्या करोगे आप अपने घर में क्यों ताला लगाते हैं? चोर तो बैठे हुए हैं बाहर, उनसे बचने के लिए, that is all. So that is why if we are not keeping our information safe, then anybody would enter and take whatever that person wants to take away from here, whatever interest that person from this organization. Okay. Importance of cyber security organizations in the government organization. In the age of digital transformation, trust is elusive asset. but one that is never out of reach for organization that has initiated the right action, such as adopting a sustainable forward looking cyber security strategy. 2 or 3 things are here. One is the most important, sustainability part. What is the meaning of sustainability here? Why do we want a cyber security strategy which is sustainable? Sustainable means जो कंटिन्यू करेगी. क्या होता है कई सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में, यू प्रिपेयर एन SOP, सर्कुलेट इट एंड देन भूल जाओ, वो अनसस्टेनेबल होगी. आपके यहाँ फायर डिपार्टमेंट है, फायर के कंट्रोलर के वो लगे हुए हैं एक्सटिंग्विशर्स और समथिंग, तो वो जो फायर ऑफिसर्स हैं कभी ड्रिल करते हुए देखा आपने उनको? साल में 6 महीने में 3 महीने में एक बार वो ड्रिल करते हैं. अगर नहीं करते हैं तो वो भी खतरनाक बात है आपके लिए. अगर वो ड्रिल करते हैं तो क्यों करते हैं? टू सस्टेन दैट सिस्टम. द सेम थिंग हैज़ टू बी डन हियर. आई मीन आपके यहाँ कोई सिस्टम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर होंगे, इज इट नॉट? सो दैट ग्रुप ऑफ persons in your organization, they have to make it sustainable. Okay. For example, जो आपके डिपार्टमेंट में पासवर्ड्स हैं वो पेरेनियल हैं कि 3 महीने में चेंज होते हैं? 3 मंथ्स में चेंज होते हैं, और ना चेंज करे तो एक्सेस डिनाइड होती है. फिर आपको कॉल करना पड़ता है, वो फिर डांटता है आपको. नहीं डांटते? डांटना चाहिए उसको. I mean this is then only you will remember next time कि अभी 3 महीने ख़त्म हो गए, मैं जाऊँगा तो बिना डांट पड़ेगी वहाँ पे. That's the kind of thing. Okay. So this sustainability is an important thing. As a human nature हम sustainable नहीं हैं. Okay. हमको एक बार बता दो तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, हम फिर अब भूल जाएंगे. That is the and second part is the forward looking. कल क्या होने वाला है? Okay. Let me again emphasize on for your organization the implications of implementing ERP. जब भी करेंगे, जब भी ये पूरा हो जाएगा, I think your vulnerability will increase. So are you thinking about such things? Have you made attempts to ensure that whosoever is supplying, providing you ERP, he has been cautioned? And do you have instruments and ways and means to ensure that all those warnings that you gave to the company which is installing ERP in your company, in your organization, has incorporated those issues there? These are the important things. Okay. Now, which is the cyber crime capital of India? जोर से बोलें. Jamtara. Jamtara is the cyber crime capital of India. This is the railway station of Jamtara. Okay. But now it is spreading very, very fast. Jamtara used to be, maybe 3-4 years ago there was no other place other than Jamtara, but now there are many. Okay. There is Alwar, Bharatpur, Mewat, which is near Gurgaon, Faridabad, Mysore, Bhubaneswar, Mathura, Varanasi, Asansol, Tamil Nadu. I mean these are the major towns which are now developing as the source of cyber crimes in the country. Maybe to conclude what we have been discussing since 1.5 hours, information security is about preserving of confidentiality, integrity and availability of information. That is as per ISO 27001, 3 things we discussed earlier. And the information security can be established in any organization by foundations. What are the foundation stones? People, procedure, policy, technology, supported by legal framework. Only one thing is available to you already, legal framework, that is Indian IT Act 2000. Other things you have to develop, particularly the people, procedure and policy part, because technology you are not developing, you are buying. but these are your own people, procedures and policies. On CERT website there are policy documents available, generic policy documents, IT security policy. So, if you do not want to do any labor, please go to CERT website, CERT-in website, download that document. It is in Word for convenience. So, you can fill in your organization's name, and wherever you want to make subtle changes, you can do that. People, I think this is what we are experiencing today and next 2 days is the right step so far as people are concerned. I mean, this creating an awareness of security. Okay. Now, if having this foundation will provide you confidentiality, integrity, availability and authentication, and moreover non-repudiation. This is an additional advantage of changing your work style from manual to digital, non-repudiation. Okay. They say information security is culture. In security matters, past is no guarantee. In fact, we as a society we believe in past. पहले तो कभी हुआ नहीं, तो आगे भी नहीं होगा ऐसा सोचते हैं. But there is no guarantee. Present is imperfect, future is uncertain. Failure is not when we fall down, but when we fail to get up. Falling down is not in our hands generally. You know, the criminal may be more intelligent, more knowledgeable, etc. But the important thing for us is that having attacked by a criminal, how quickly your systems can come up and start working. That is an important aspect. Lastly, if you spend more on coffee than you spend on IT security, then you will be hacked. And what is more, you deserve to be hacked. And of course, Hubbard said so long ago that world is moving so fast these days that the man who says it can't be done is generally interrupted by someone doing it. Okay, so you become that someone who does it. Lastly, I want to share two important things with you. Who are the illiterates? I mean, so far as security is concerned, not otherwise. Illiterates of the 21st century will not be the individual who cannot read and write, but the one who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. That is what Alvin Toffler, I am sure some of you must have read her book, his books. Very important thing what is Toffler is saying, unlearn. We are moving very, very fast. So many things that you learned 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago have no consequences, no usage. That is only a baggage, that weight that you are carrying. So unlearn. In fact, you know, I mean, those who have been practicing or working on computers, you remember those days when DOS was in use and you are saving a file and you get a message disk full or wrong command kind of thing. So what did you do? You deleted a few files and then saved the new file. So that delete is unlearn. Here also is a kind of a hard disk. So you can't save everything continuously. So you have to delete. That is what Alvin Toffler is saying. And in the same vein, there is another philosopher very respected. He says that in the times of drastic changes, the learned will belong to past. The present and future belongs to the learners. So I think we will have to continually learn continuously, then only we can survive in this IT age kind of thing. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We break for lunch and come back after 1 hour, and then we will continue with other things.